And hello again, folks. It is I, Kamikaze, here to bring you a question of fairness. First of all, we're going to cover thumbs up means it is completely unfair. Other than that, comment below so that way we can get your understanding. So imagine you're in a class and you have a teacher. The teacher gives you an assignment. You have 2 weeks in order to get it done, and your entire speech has to cover all specific aspects. Like there's let's say 5 categories that it has to cover, and your speech has to be within 2 minutes. Your total grade is out of 12 points. Now we're going to get on to the aspect of bullshitness. Let's say you were giving your presentation. And let's split it up. There's the presentation itself, the information provided, and the time. We now have 2 separate variables, but the total score is 12. And let's say you nailed it on the presentation. You got all the information, everything out of there, but you went over the 2 minutes by 30 seconds. The teacher says that you lose 1 point for every 6 seconds that you go over. So what happens is you end up losing, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. Your score of 12 goes down to 7. A glorious 7. You did a fantastic job delivering, providing all the information, everything, but you, instead of getting an A, you get an F because you went over by 30 seconds. Is that bullshit? I think it's bullshit. The reason why is, one, why is time such a big factor? 2, when on earth do you have a whopping 120 seconds to give a speech? And if you essentially go over by half a minute, you're pretty much shot dead. I mean, it's absolutely asinine. Losing that much points for so little, that means to get an A in this specific thing, you have to be within 5 seconds of the 2 minutes. 5 seconds. You literally have to be spot on. And here's the thing. You don't get a timer. You get to do your speech from your head. Now, imagine that you've practiced this at home again and again. You sit there, you have your timer, and you're like, yes, I'm nailing this. Then you get put in front of a class, and you're trying to keep track of how long you're going. But let's say you're a little slow or a little fast, and so you're trying to get the words out thinking you're running out of time or that you have enough time. And let alone that since you fail to realize that you're talking slower now, your 2 minutes becomes 2 minutes and 30 seconds because you don't get a timer. Now you have failed. Perfect presentation, all the information, but you fail because of 30 seconds. And here's the kicker. You are in 9th grade. Or 10th grade. Either one. And your teacher freaking fails you because of 9 seconds. A perfect A student who does everything with full power. Could you imagine being that person and you're just acing everything? Suddenly, because of 30 seconds, you fail your first paper. Or someone who's in a depression finally has the power to go forward and output for once. And you do a fantastic presentation, finally getting out of that hole, but you were over and you fail. Just because of time. I mean, I could see if it was a test and you had so long to complete the test. I mean, because that's how it would work. But if it's, you ace the information, but you fail on the time and you fail completely because of a half a minute. I'm saying this over and over again to make sure that I cover any way of explaining this. You do an assignment, you do the research, you set up all of your data. You've got everything. perfectly done, as in you got the correct information, correct citations, you got the correct everything. I don't know what this speech would entail, but like given 5 parts and you get every single one of them right. You give the most excellent, mesmerizing presentation. But you went a half a minute over, so you fail. A half a minute, 30 seconds. And the reasoning the teacher gives is because those were the guidelines that were set. And you don't divert from these things. Everyone has the potential of doing this. This person who had an A has always done great and always outputs, their greatest work. They were at 101% in the class. I mean, they've done extra credit, they've gone above and beyond, and they do fantastic. But they fail because of 30 seconds. That one assignment, that one failure. I mean, the teacher gets an email from the parent upset because of this. Does the parent have the right to do that? Is the parent right in that it's unfair? You're damn fucking right it's unfair. I mean, there's a reason behind this whole scenario, because it's a true scenario. I just want your opinion on if this was fair or not. If you were given an assignment that you had 2 weeks to complete, do all the research, and so forth, and you have to do a speech on it, but you only have 2 minutes to do the speech. And so you do fantastic, you got all the information, you've got everything down, but you end up going over by 30 seconds. Do you deserve to fail? Comment below if you believe you deserve to fail. If you don't deserve to fail, hit that like button. Show who I'm referring to that it is not fair. That is not a reason to fail someone. Those are ridiculous standards on that. Wherever you have 2 weeks, when you have no timer and you have 2 minutes to do it in, I don't care, who has potential and whatnot. That's just not fair. Because there's always those people who are nervous and can't deliver a good speech. And we're talking like, if you went over by, let's say, what would it be? A minute and 12 seconds. You got a 0. Flat out 0. Doesn't matter how well you did on the research and stuff. Essentially, the time is more important. And so if you gave a great speech, but you went over by a minute 12, still, that's not a reason to give a fat goose egg. So again, thumbs up if you think this is unfair. That is completely ridiculous for a teacher to have that kind of guideline. I mean, that's stupid. I know this teacher. And I think they're a fucking moron. So, again, you think it's unfair? Hit the like button. Other than that, do the normal things that you would end up doing. Comment below. Whether you agree or disagree, comment below on what you think the guideline should have been, whether the time should have been really a factor, if 30 seconds deserved to fail. I mean, give your actual reasoning. So I'm going to see you guys in the next one, because I think this is bullshit. I hope you do too.